Whether you are a nature lover and enjoy outdoor activities, you prefer to indulge in a museum, or you want to experience the special atmosphere in an unknown country. But with so many places to visit, where do you start? To make your vacation planning a little easier, let me tell you about the 10 most beautiful places on Earth. Number 10. Milford Sound, New Zealand. The South Island of New Zealand boasts one of the world's most picturesque fjords. Known as Milford Sound, it is located along the island's southwest coast, about 60 miles or 96 kilometers northwest of Queenstown, which is a resort center famous for its skiing and outdoor activities. Milford Sound is the crown jewel of New Zealand's Fiordland National Park, which is the largest of the island nation's 14 national parks, according to the New Zealand Department of Conservation. Buttressed by towering sheer cliffs and high mountain peaks, several of which soar to heights of 3,940 feet or 1,200 meters, Milford Sound is a unique ecosystem. It is one of the wettest places on Earth, receiving an estimated average yearly rainfall of 22 feet. Mosses, lichens, and ferns thrive in the wet environment and grow in abundance. Number 9. Santorini, Greece. The whitewashed, blue-capped houses of the Greek village of Thera are typical of the many picturesque villages of modern-day Greece. But these particular houses, along with those of Thera's sister city, Aea, are perched impossibly on the ridge of the caldera and command a bold panoramic view of the surrounding Aegean Sea. The caldera is the remnant of the ancient island of Thera, now called Santorini. Situated in the southern Aegean Sea and forming the southernmost of the Cyclades group of islands, Santorini is a volcanic island located 120 miles southeast of the Greek mainland. It is famous for its rugged landscape, towering cliffs displaying distinct and colorful geologic layers, volcanic beaches, romantic sunsets, and 360-degree view of the deep blue Aegean Sea. Santorini is also famous for the catastrophic volcanic eruption that occurred 3,600 years ago during the height of the Minoan civilization, according to the World Historic Encyclopedia. Number 8. Isle of Skye, Scotland. The Isle of Skye has a long history of appearances in songs, stories, novels, and poetry. Novelist and poet Walter Scott used the picturesque location as the setting for his epic poem, The Lord of the Isles, and Sir Harold Bolton's romantic ballad, The Skye Boat Song, tells the story of bonny Prince Charlie's flight from the Scottish mainland to Skye after his defeat at the Battle of Culloden in 1746. It is unclear where the name Skye comes from, but some sources, such as the Gazetteer of Scotland, claim it comes from the Old Norse word skya, meaning cloud island, likely a reference to the fog that often enshrouds the island. Skye is the largest and northernmost of Scotland's Inner Hebrides, a group of islands located on the country's west coast. The island is roughly 50 miles or 80 kilometers wide from east to west and is made up of a hodgepodge of moors, blue lochs, wind-swept coastlines, fields of heather, stark medieval castles, and craggy mountains. Its climate is wet, windy, cool, and frequently overcast. But when the sun breaks out, the island is aglow with rainbows, sparkling lochs, and some of the most beautiful coastal vistas in the British Isles. In a country famous for stunning scenery, the Isle of Skye takes top prize, according to the Lonely Planet Travel Guide. Number 7. Huashan, China. Shan in Mandarin for mountain, and Hua means splendid or magnificent. Huashan, a towering mountain located near the city of Huayin in China's Shaanxi province, about 74 miles or 120 kilometers east of Xi'an, lives up to its moniker. It consists of 5 separate peaks, the tallest of which, South Peak, rises 7,070 feet, 2,155 meters. The mountain is composed primarily of Mesozoic-era granite, upthrust as the result of geologic faulting over millions of years, according to UNESCO. This created the sheer rock faces that characterize the mountain and plunge precipitously to the valley below. The surrounding flora is rich and varied. Mosses, lichens, and shrubs characterize the understory, while several species of pine clinging precariously to steep rock faces and sheer cliffs form the overstory. The mountain is also a major tourist destination. Many people from around the world venture to climb the South Peak, an ascent to the top of the mountain that some have dubbed the most dangerous hike in the world. Number 6. Prague, Czech Republic. The capital of the Czech Republic, Prague, is known as the City of 100 Spires, a name that references its famous castles, cathedrals, Gothic and Baroque architecture, and medieval squares and bridges. It is home to 1.3 million people. The area around Prague is a region known as Bohemia, which has been settled for many millennia, first by Paleolithic people and much later by the Celts. But Prague did not acquire the rudiments of a city until the 9th century AD, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. During the medieval period, the city grew in size, scope, and renown, becoming a major city of political and cultural influence in the 14th century. Perhaps the most picturesque of Prague's buildings, however, is Prague Castle, which sits atop a hill and dominates the city's skyline. It was built in the 9th century and was expanded upon over subsequent centuries. Today, it is the official residence of the President of the Czech Republic. Number 5. Jökulsárlón, Iceland. The first thing you notice about Iceland's largest glacial lagoon is the dazzling blueness of the water. It has a crystalline quality that is mesmerizing and otherworldly. Brilliant white icebergs broken off of the nearby glacier float about, resembling clouds drifting in the sky. Translated as Glacial River Lagoon is Iceland's deepest lake, plunging 813 feet, or 248 meters, below the surface, according to the Earth Observatory, a NASA-affiliated site. It covers a surface area of 7 square miles, 18 square kilometers, and borders the coast, so at high tide, Atlantic Ocean water spills into the lagoon. Jökulsárlón is part of the Vatnajökull National Park, located near the town of Höfn in the southeast part of the country. The park derives its name from the Vatnajökull Glacier, which is Iceland's largest ice cap and the second largest ice cap in Europe, after the Severny Island ice cap in Novaya Zemlya, Russia. The lagoon is a major tourist attraction, drawing visitors from all over Europe, Asia, and the United States. They come to see the icebergs, the wildlife, and the amazing vistas. Especially Vatnajökull Glacier, which rises to 3,000 feet and provides a dramatic backdrop to the striking blue lagoon, and seals are frequent visitors to the lagoon. Number 4. Great Ocean Road, Australia. Flanked on the south by the tempestuous Southern Ocean, the Great Ocean Road in Australia's most scenic highway, it passes by some of the country's most amazing vistas and natural landmarks, and is on Australia's National Heritage List, a list of places deemed to be of outstanding historical, natural, and cultural significance to Australia. The Great Ocean Road runs along the southeast coast, from Torquay in the east of Allenford in the west. It covers a length of 151 miles, 243 kilometers, and parallels the southern edge of the continent for most of the way, though it occasionally deviates to cut inland and zigzag around a landform or natural formation. The entire route takes about 9.5 hours, and tourists typically spend 3 days doing the drive. Number 3. Seychelles. In 1881, the famous British general Charles Chinese Gordon thought he had stumbled across the biblical Garden of Eden, literally. He claimed it was on an island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, now known as Praslin in the Republic of Seychelles. Seychelles is an archipelago of 115 islands nearly 1,000 miles off Africa's east coast. The islands are the epitome of postcard perfect. Stately palm trees sway above pristine white beaches and brilliant turquoise water. Most of the islands are granite, according to One Earth Philanthropy, although several islands are also coral atolls. The Aldabra group of islands include Aldabra Island, which is the world's second largest raised coral atoll and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 2. Aleutian Islands. A cold, windswept island chain in the North Pacific Ocean is hardly the first location that springs to mind when contemplating the world's most beautiful places. But the Aleutian Islands, located between 50 degrees and 55 degrees north latitude, is a special place that defies all expectations and assumptions. Though beset by fiery winds, thick fog, and heavy rainfall, the islands have mystical charm. A haven for seabirds and marine life, the islands are a wonderland of rugged volcanoes and snow-capped peaks, surrounded by a vast expanse of deep blue ocean. The Aleutians form the northern extension of the Pacific Ring of Fire, extending in an arc westward from the Alaskan Peninsula for 1,200 miles to the Russian Kamchatka Peninsula. The Aleutians consist of more than 70 islands, including 14 large volcanic islands, 55 smaller islands, and several islets. They are located where the Pacific Plate sinks below the North American Plate, creating an active subduction zone. Here, the molten lava bubbles up to the surface, and several of the islands contain active volcanoes. Number 1. Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is an ancient city that sits high up in the mountains, surrounded by gauzy wisps of cloud. The extreme altitude and surrounding backdrop of the vegetation-clad slopes of the Andean foothills lend the air an ethereal quality. Machu Picchu is located in the Andes Mountains of southern Peru, in the craggy heights above the Urubamba Valley, also called the Sacred Valley. Archaeologists think Machu Picchu was constructed in the mid-1400s under the direction of Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui, the ninth ruler of the Inca. The city was built as a citadel for Inca royalty and was occupied for nearly a century until it was abandoned around the time of the Spanish conquest in the 16th century. It contains numerous palaces, residences, and stone temples, including the Temple of the Sun and the Temple of the Three Windows, and is surrounded by expertly made stone walls. The nearest modern city, Cuzco, is 50 miles to the southeast. Do let us know in the comments which one is your favorite place to visit on Earth. Please subscribe to Travel the World. Thanks for watching.